Hello and welcome to November 1st. Here on Lesvos in Greece, we say Kalomina, which means good month, at the beginning of every month, in addition to saying good morning or good evening. And I think it's a really nice tradition because we really are starting a new chapter, and we start 12 of them a year. And this one in particular is really a transition into a different time. So no matter where you are in the world, I happen to be in a small village in Greece on an island, and it's much more agricultural and seasonal. So we go through different cycles at different times. For instance, this morning I woke up and I could smell this wood smoke, and I opened the windows and I was like, yeah, it's a little chilly this morning, but it's not quite that cold. And what it is, it's the beginning, I think, of burn season. So we have tons of olive groves here. The trees get pruned, the wood gets stacked, and then in the summer, it's too much of a fire hazard to burn them. So we're burning them now and starting to burn the piles. So this beautiful smell of smoke is in the air. And it reminds me of some of the really old traditions where people would think that the veil between the afterworld and the present world was thin. And this idea of November as we head into from Halloween or older pagan traditions tied to that, as we head into winter, that there is this transition that happens. And it's true. So even if you live in a less agricultural or less seasonal area, there is a transition that happens as we begin to wrap things up for the year and start looking at what we want to do for the coming year. There's also this impetus to say, I'll kick the can down the road till January. Whatever your goals were that maybe you didn't hit, the things that you want to start working on, it's really easy to say, January. November is going to be here, then December is going to be here. There's holidays, there's family stuff, there's parties. I'm too busy. I don't have the time. I'll just wait till January. But the reality is, if you have something you want to do, if you have something you want to change, then today is just as good a day as any. You don't have to wait until a Monday. You don't have to wait until a new week, a new month, a new year. If you're serious about it, start today. It doesn't mean you're going to change everything today, but if you're able to start today and you're able to start shifting your priorities, especially as we go into a holiday season, and you have more obligations with family and this kind of stuff. Maybe there's more food and you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to set boundaries and you're surrounded by extended family. It's a great time to practice. When we shift our mindset from going, oh my gosh, there's already so much on my plate, I can't possibly do this, to, hey, this is actually a great time to practice because there's so many opportunities to, you're going to shift how you're going to approach it. If you're waiting until January, then it's really easy to say, oh, I don't feel great January 1st. Oh, it's still kind of a holiday week. Oh, then Valentine's Day is coming up. If you make an excuse, there's always going to be another excuse behind it. If you're willing to start tackling things, then you'll realize that there's nothing in your way. I come from a very order-driven family. So my mom goes to the grocery store on Fridays. It's like a set rule. That's the day she goes. And my family likes to work out first thing in the morning. So then if that morning workout is skipped, then it would be really hard to do it in the afternoon. But the reality is you can work out at any time. So when we tie ourselves to these concepts of like, well, I'll start January 1st, we're really limiting ourselves. If you start today, you're 2 months ahead of where you would be. Again, I know there's a lot that's coming up for folks. If we pause a bit and put ourselves back on a seasonal cycle, put ourselves back into what is this time of year? You know, there's a time change, it gets colder, the days are shorter, the nights are longer. We put our bodies and our minds back in that phase. I feel like it's a little bit more of a healthy structure to go through. And we're thinking about what we've done for the year and where we want to head. There's a natural cycle of self-reflection. There's no reason to not start taking some of those steps today. So if your goal is to get in shape for 2026, there's no reason you can't start doing 5,000 steps today. There's no reason you can't do a 10-minute yoga. There's no reason you can't start watching what you're eating or tracking your calories. There's no reason you can't do a workout. There's no reason you can't just say, I'll just go out of my house. Like maybe I'm not going to run a 5K, but I'll commit to putting my shoes on and going outside. And that's enough. You'll have 2 months of progress on that before Jan 1 hits. So I invite you to take a look at that. I don't think there's any reason for you to not start today. And when we look at, if you start January 1st, and you've already got that momentum behind you, how good you're going to feel. There really is no magic trick to getting the things you want and living the life you want to live. In fact, one of the most eye-opening moments I had was I was approaching 40 years old and I was so frustrated. I was in this work situation that was like, my anxiety was through the roof. My mortgage was through the roof. I was making money and spending money, and I thought, I'd hit this high level of success, and I really thought I'd made it, and I was so unhappy. And I kept waiting because there was a whole list of things that I wanted to do that didn't seem to fit in line with what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And the difference was one day I said, that's it. Why not just do these things now? That's it. And so a lot of people are like, oh, there's like a magic trick or like a secret, or how did you do it? Or what was the life hack? Or what was the whatever? I'm like, there's not. I just decided to start doing those things today. Yes, I know it sounds easier than it is, but it also is easier than what most people make it sound. There's no reason you can't take small steps. On that same note, I did launch a program called Account-A-Buddies. It's something I'm really excited about because accountability is a really big deal. For a lot of us, it's not that we don't know what we need to do. It's not that we're not necessarily motivated. It's that sticking with it and being accountable is tough. We wake up, we mean to do stuff, but then the day gets ahead of us. And we can lose track of how important that goal is to us when we're running around with kids and we're shuttling back and forth to work. We have 10,000 emails. It's really easy to lose the fact that we have to prioritize those goals in order to make them happen. Now, if you've ever gone to see like a personal trainer, you probably worked out a lot harder and got better results while you're with them than on your own. Even if you know all the exercises, when you're accountable to somebody else, you're going to show up more. Someone else is there, they're human, they're checking in on you, and you have a little skin in the game. So I wanted to make this super accessible because, especially for November and December, if you have the courage to start working on your goals now and not wait till January, I want to reward you a bit. So I'm doing it for $9 a month, which is super low. You get a text message directly from me Monday through Friday, tailored to your goal specifically. And it's not an app, it's not a robot, it's nothing that you're going to ignore. It's literally from me to you, and I expect you to answer back and tell me how you're doing. And then for November and December, I'm offering 15 minutes a week, a one-on-one call. Check in on your goals, see what went sideways, what went well, what we're going to do next week. That's an hour of free coaching for November and for December. Now, in January, when the rest of people decide they want to start working their goals, the price is going to go up and that call is not going to be available. If you want to take a look at it, it's at yourjoyacademy.com/account-a-buddies. Again, it's just a little way that if I can do anything to help you get started now, I'd love to see you with 2 months of momentum under your belt. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I hope to see you there. Thanks so much.